Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm doing a reprint of this Cardiograph board. I have let it to dry just for a little bit so I can really wet the paper and make sure I get every single bit of nook and cranny into it. What I'm going to do this time, instead of flipping it over onto the paper, I'm going to put the paper on top so I can really get into all the nooks and crannies and make sure I get all the bits of ink out, because that was not necessarily a problem, but it was something that I faced last time. The print really worked, but I obviously want to get all the lovely bits of texture because that one's very much two-dimensional and I want this to be much more three-dimensional. So I'm going to go wet my paper and I'll be straight back. Okay, so the paper is wet and we're ready to go. I do apologise if you can hear background noise. I feel like every time I turn on the phone, the recording, either someone's doing something out in the garden, someone's doing some DIY work. I suppose that's just what happens when you live in a community of people. But yeah, so hopefully I won't disrupt the process. This paper is quite saturated, so we're just going to hopefully place it on top. And then because obviously this is on top, I'm just going to gently start pressing down. I have used the board, should we say board? Sketchbook. I'd say sketchbook to help me guide myself on the paper. If it goes on a bit wonky, it's fine. It's just one of those things. You can start to see where the board is. So I'm just going to keep on pressing in. Hopefully all these lines and that will pop up in the printing press. What's so great as well about doing mount board printing is that you don't have to necessarily do it really random. You can do it off of a landscape similar to liner printing, but this is much more of a three-dimensional process that you can get out of it. You can probably much get most things out of it, but you do have to remember, like liner printing, whatever you print is going to print out backwards, which necessarily isn't always a bad thing. Because I am pressing quite hard. Even if the printing ink doesn't come off, you're still going to get that bit of texture because it is pressing into the paper. I think that should be enough. I don't think we're going to get any more out. So, moment of truth. It has printed. Okay. Still quite a lot of ink left on the board, especially on the main printing piece. And this is basically what's come out of it. Still very, very happy with this. There are little bits that I wish were a bit more blocky in terms of magic, because this doesn't look as three-dimensional as I thought it would. I think the other technique was actually a lot better, as in putting the board on top of the paper rather than putting the paper on top of the board. But again, it's just one of those processes I'm just going to have to keep on messing around with until I get the right way of printing it. Obviously, each individual board that you make will be completely different, so you do need to practice as much as possible. However, I'm not saying this is a fail. This is pretty much a combination of all the textures. I did get out every single bit of texture that I wanted to, but it wasn't as dramatic and three-dimensional as I wanted it to be. There is still quite a lot of negative space and you do have some really nice crisp bits and pieces, but I do think it can be improved upon, which is not a big thing because obviously that's why we have the board. I can just wipe it all off and start again for next time, because even though you do wipe bits of it off, some bits will be permanently on that board. That's why after a while you do have to throw away your print board that you've created, because it will just fall apart because it has absorbed a lot of the printing inks and agents that you have used to be able to print onto it, but that's far down the line. As you can tell, I did say in my last video I have had that since 2015, but I've only done a couple, well, at most 10 prints on it. So as long as you keep it maintained, keep it looked after, and you don't obviously keep it out in the rain, and it should be fine to be able to keep reusing until you get to the point where you just bang in a great print out every single time you use it. I am, after all that, pretty happy. Obviously there are some certain changes I would like to apply to it, but again, that's the great thing about art. It's constantly being evolved. You experiment with it constantly, just to be able to get out what you would like to get out. Maybe doing one more print, because there's still a bit of ink left over, and any of these little bits and pieces that are left will probably transfer onto it. I do have to say, between this print and the other print, you can get the finer details a lot more. So maybe I actually needed to do 2 proper prints of the board going onto the paper, rather than the second print being the paper going to the board. So I might do just one more print, the board going onto the paper rather than the paper being onto the board, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it hasn't confused you too much. So I will do that. I'll go away and do one more print, but I'll let that dry just for a little bit, maybe like 10-15 minutes before starting a new print, and then I'll join you back there. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you like to see more videos like this and be able to see more content on my channel. If you would like to join me on social media, they are all in the comment section in the description box below. If you'd like to comment on anything, please leave a comment down below and I'll say hi and do my best to answer it for you. But until next time, I shall see you guys later. Bye!